So, hello students. I hope that you are fine, and I think that this is your first lab because in first week of the start of the semester we were not engaging the practicals, and also I hope that my voice is clear to you because I'm not having any acknowledgement as such because I'm just recording this session for you, and moreover you may get a background noise because I'm in train, and moreover you have to tolerate with this, and I'm just trying to engage you through this because you have already missed almost 2 weeks practical, and I don't want to miss you this one because perhaps in next week we'll be having so many other activities and you will be involved in that, and again you'll be missing the practical, and if this way it goes on, so it will be difficult for us to complete all these 12 practicals. So I think you are familiar with programming. Hope so that you have honestly done your last semester practical, that is fundamental of data structure lab, and this is our data structure and algorithms lab. And in this lab also we have 12 experiments to be performed, and our first experiment is based on uh, first unit, that is called hashing concepts. And moreover, uh, whatever practicals we'll be implementing, that will be a sort of menu driven approach. Means whatever practicals you have to perform, and perhaps whatever practicals you might have performed in last semester, those practicals were supposed to be done using uh, that is menu driven approach. So before I start with the practical, uh, I would like to show you something so that you will get what I am trying to make you understand. So first of all, I'll share, my screen is already shared. I will just show you demonstration. And I hope that Nilesh sir has already taught you hashing concept, that is for B division I'm talking of. And for my A division, I have already discussed this at length. I hope you understand. And don't worry, I'll be using Marathi in between as well. Uh, Now, what exactly is menu driven approach? That means every program, whatever program you will be performing, that program will be based on certain tasks given to you, and that task might involve so many different operations to be performed. For example, in last semester you might have performed a string operation wala program, and in that string operation wala program you had so many I mean to say functions to be implemented. Like first function was finding the length of the string. Second might be copying one string to another. Then there might be string concatenation. Then finding whether the string is palindrome or not. So all these operations were expected to be done by implementing different functions. So and it was not like you have to implement these functions and call this function all together all in your main function. Okay, so what I mean to say is this, like suppose now I want to say uh, perform our first experiment of this particular lab, that is called hashing concept. Now in hashing you have to handle the collision. And what is collision handling? That means when two keys are having same hash index, and if some index of the hash table, uh, if some key is already present, and if I want to store the second key at the same location, I won't be able to, because some key already exists at that particular location and I'm trying to add a new key at that location, and that is collision. Now you know well that there are so many ways to handle this collision, and for this we have different techniques like collision handling with linear probing approach, or collision handling with quadratic I mean to say probing approach. Now in this particular experiment, what you have to do is that you have to perform various operations of the collision with two different main concepts, that is called linear probing and quadratic probing. Now coming back to our experiment, it is expected that this program you implement using something called a menu driven approach. So before I start with the actual implementation, what I do now is I will show you what exactly is menu driven approach. So we have this program, for example, so it is our Python code. So no doubt, so I'll be using Python interpreter, and it is our experiment number 1. So I have already implemented experiment number 1 for this. I mean to say like ki last year I implemented that, and now I am showing that demonstration. So uh, be careful and see here. What do you see here? You find that the program asks or prompts you to enter the size of hash table, and you know well that every hash table has a certain size. We don't assume that hash table is infinite and we keep adding the element infinitely in the hash table. No, what we have in hash table is like we have a fixed size hash table that is called a bucket size, and with the help of that, what we do is we try to store some values in that hash table. Now I give hash table sizes 5. Now if you see here, you get a menu. What is the title of that menu? That is collision handling techniques. And what are the options available under this collision handling technique menu? So you have certain, uh, I mean to say key certain uh, operations like linear probing, quadratic probing, and the third operation is exit application. जर आपण एकंदरीत विचार केला तर ह्या मेनू मध्ये आपल्याला काय मिळतं, 3 ऑप्शन्स मिळतात. जसं आपण एखाद्या हॉटेलमध्ये गेलो, तिथे आपल्याला मेनू असतात वेगवेगळे. त्या मेनू अंडर मग आपण चॉईस करतो. जसं आपण बघतोय की समजा राईसमध्ये काही प्रकार असतील, त्यानंतर तुमचे सॉफ्ट सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक्स असतील किंवा मग ब्रेवरेजेस असतात. त्यानंतर आपण बघतोय की थाळीमध्ये प्रकार असतात, व्हेजिटेबल्स असतात, अशा प्रकारे. तसाच एक मेनू आहे आपल्याकडे. फाईन. I hope that all you understand Marathi, because Marathi is the second language I'll be using, otherwise our English professionally. So here, now suppose I choose first option. So I just press 1 as my choice, and I press enter. What do I get? I get one more menu, that is menu within menu. And in this, I am expected to perform 3 different operations. Like I would like to add some record in the hash table. I would like to display the contents of the hash table, and I would like to search some element in the hash table. Now in our experiment number 1, we are expected to store name of the person and its telephone number and his or her telephone number. तर आपल्याला या एक्सपेरिमेंट मध्ये काय करायचंय, एक हॅश टेबल तयार करायचं आहे आणि त्यामध्ये 2 गोष्टी सेव्ह करायच्या आहे, एखाद्या व्यक्तीचं नाव आणि त्याचा टेलिफोन नंबर. आता हा टेलिफोन नंबर आपण एक की म्हणून वापरणार आहे. मीन्स वी आर गोइंग टू यूज दिस ॲज अ की, telephone number as a key. So we'll be storing our record in hash table using this telephone number as a key. So I will explore this later. Here my intention is just to make you understand what menu driven approach is and what we have to do while implementing all the experiment. This menu driven approach is not just limited to your data structure and laboratory data structure and algorithms laboratory, but you have to adapt with this menu driven approach for entire engineering. Maybe after engineering also, when you'll be in your this thing IT industry, you'll be having same thing. You'll be asked to do all your I mean to say task using menu driven approach. So we'll talk means in some different way later, not now. And now if I say option 4, first of all I'll show you option 2. So if you see here, my hash table is blank because I specified hash table ka size as a 5. So there are total 5 I mean to say locations in the hash table, and you know well that hash table indices varies from 0 to bucket size minus 1. Suppose our bucket size is 5, then obviously my first index of the hash table is 0, and the last index will be bucket size 5 minus 1, 4, that is 0 to 4. And at time I don't have anything in my hash table, so there is something called none, none, none. That means there is no record stored in the or saved in the hash table. Now suppose I want to come out of this internal menu, I'll say 4. So I press here 4, So I come back out of the internal menu, but still I am getting the outer menu, that is called collision handling technique. Now, suppose I want to exit this application, I'll press 3 and will press enter. I'm out of this application, entire application. So this exactly is called a menu driven approach. Now, being your first experiment and first lab, what I want you to do is that you should just first implement this thing, menu driven approach ka concept. First of all, get familiar with this thing, and then we will start with our actual experiment number 1. And maybe perhaps in this session we will not be able to complete our complete our experiment. I expect that you students will perform, or rather finish up your every experiments in 2 terms, 2 turns, not more than 2 turns, because we have a limited period of time per semester, and within that semester we have to finish up almost 12 experiments. ठीक आहे. आता मला असं वाटतं तुम्हाला हे कळलं असेल. तर आता आपण बघूया की हा मेनू ड्रिव्हन अप्रोच कसा अंडरस्टँड करायचा. तर त्यासाठी मी शेअर करतोय हे एडिटर. So this is my editor, Notepad++. But I hope that last time perhaps you might have used some smart idea of Python, that is called PyCharm or some other IDE. आणि आपल्या लॅबमध्ये PyCharm इन्स्टॉल्ड आहे आणि लास्ट इयरला तुम्ही त्याला वापरलं होतं. This year also you have to use the same IDE PyCharm. Now what we'll do is, like, we are going to implement something called collision handling technique program, and we have to implement this program using something called menu driven approach. So I will not start, I will not discuss anything about program as such, our actual experiment as such, but I will just try to demonstrate you that how to implement a menu in the program. So for say as a simple example, what I do is, like, I want you to implement this menu. So this is called this is a demo. So I'll give just menu name, that is called this one, demo. What I want to give 3 options to the user. First option, that if user chooses one, so he'll be getting vada pav. Okay, so vada pav is favorite for all, is favorite item of the Punites. If user says if user chooses second option, then he will be getting samosa. Okay, and what if user chooses third option? Bye bye, simply because I have only 2 items in my say for example hotel or something, or snack center. I have just 2 items. If someone wants vada pav, I can provide. Someone wants samosa, I can provide. If someone says give me a tea or a juice or something, I'll say bye bye. So these are the 3 operations we have to perform. So at time I'm not going to give anything to anyone. This is just a demonstration. Now suppose you have been given this menu, a general requirement of the problem. Now I want to put it in program form. What I'll do now, I will just simply copy and paste and convert this English like statements into program. आता मी काय करणार आहे, हे प्रोग्राम, हे स्टेटमेंट्स आहेत, याचा एक मेनू तयार करणार प्रोग्रामच्या रूपाने. आता हे प्रोग्रामचं स्ट्रक्चर आहे पायथॉनचं, आणि आपल्याला प्रत्येक गोष्ट युझिंग क्लास, दॅट मीन्स ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड पॅराडिगम वी हॅव टू यूज, अँड आवर एंटायर implementation will be using object oriented paradigm only. First 2 experiments are to be performed in Python, and remaining 10 experiments will be in C++. Fine. Sir, I don't know what was in the mind of the subject chairman that he has asked us to do first 2 in Python and then remaining 10 in C++. It's all hodgepodge, but let it be. So we have to go with the specification given by the university. So for now, I'll not be implementing anything in the class. Yeah. So what I want, like, I want you to first implement a menu in the driver code. Now what is the driver code? Driver code is something like your main function in C or C++ or your main method in Java. Fine. तर आता तुम्हाला हे माहिती आहे की आपलं मेन फंक्शन काय असतं सी किंवा C++. मेन फंक्शन इज अ एंट्री पॉइंट ऑफ अ प्रोग्राम. हे तुम्हाला माहिती आहे ऑलरेडी. फाईन. असं मी अज्युम करतो. तसाच हा ड्रायव्हर कोड असतो. आता आपण काय करणार, एक मेनू तयार करणार आहे. How do I convert my English like statement into program that is Python menu? That means a menu implemented using Python program. त्यासाठी काय करायचं आपल्याला, तर ही जी रिक्वायरमेंट आहे जस्ट घ्यायची and see what I do now. I just convert this English like statement into programmatic form. So I'll just write print statement of the Python or print function of the Python. So I'll use this. Fine. So what you have to understand here, please be attentive. If you are not attentive, then again there will be a problem, because these are very simple things. So here is the printf statement. Yes. So I'm just taking this English like statement and putting it in the print statement of the Python, print function of the Python, right? So similarly, what I have to do, I have to convert this remaining one. So I will say print, again print, fine. So here, new line, again I complete this print statement, done. Again I have to do the same thing for this. So if you see here, converting your English statements into a programming menu sort of thing is very easy. Okay, so we'll see. Don't worry, I will this program. I hope that my connectivity is not getting disturbed, and moreover, I hope that you are okay. And tomorrow we both are not available, so that's why, that is Mali sir and I am also not available. So we both are not available. That's why I'm completing this task through online video lecture. Now what I want is that I want this menu to get. So I come here on the command prompt. So I'll clear everything whatever I have. Now I will use this thing. So what I want is, like, I want to see what is the output of my program. So it is program x1 underscore a1 dot py. Fine. So I'll execute this. What it says, it gives error, no problem. So I'll see here. It says line number 20. So I'll see. Line number 22. Yeah, it is just because of comments. I'll put this in comment. वापरावा लागेल, ज्याच्या सहाय्याने मी लूप मध्ये एंटर करतो. एक चॉईस नावाचा व्हेरिएबल आहे, चॉईस. सो इनिशियली आय मेक दॅट file loop, no doubt. And how long I want this loop to continue. So I want this loop to continue till my value is not equal to 3. Fine. So this is the thing I want to do. Now, as I want this 4 statements should get continuously displayed till user says no. What I'll be doing, I'll be just making all these 4 part of while loop. So I'll just put one tab indentation here. Fine. Okay, so again you have to bear with the background things because I'm helpless, and moreover I don't want you to miss out this session because you have already missed 2 weeks ka session, and yours is the batch that has not done anything till now. This is your first experiment, and moreover don't worry, Harshal sir is with you, and he'll be helping out in getting your difficulties solved. Fine. And moreover, I'll be just sending code as well, code of the program. But what I want is like you don't just copy and paste the code which I provide you. Rather, you first understand what I am demonstrating here, listen carefully, understand it carefully, and after understanding, even if you copy, I don't have any problem. Fine. So what I do now is I just read the value of choice variable because I want user to enter his choice. So I'll say choice equal to. So what is the statement in Python which helps us to read data from the keyboard? Yes, I know you know it, but still I ask. So it is input statement. Fine. So I'll be using input statement here. So in this input statement, I'll be just asking user ला मी सांगतोय की बाबा कर and मग user काय करेल काहीतरी value देईल. आता input statement here it's complete. But you know that whatever data is provided by user through keyboard, that is just the plain text. Suppose user enters 1, it is not a numeric one, it's a character one. So I'll explore much on this, not now but in next session. But here my intention is just to make you understand the menu driven approach, and moreover just to I'm to say make you familiar sorry, with this structure. And what you have to do is you have to adapt with this structure, and this structure will be replicated in all your remaining programs. Fine. So what you have to do, and you have to typecast this now input into int. So I'll be using int function as a typecasting function, so that whatever value is entered by the user, that will be treated as an int, numeric int, not a character int. आता काय करायचं मला इथे? Now here I have a choice. That means if user says, for example, 1, then I should provide user vada pav. If user says 2, I should provide user a samosa. If user says 3, no choice, bye bye. पण ह्यासाठी मला काय करायचं आहे आता? यासाठी मला क्लासमध्ये फंक्शन्स इम्प्लिमेंट करायचे आणि त्या फंक्शनला मला त्या मेनू मध्ये कॉल करायचा आहे. ठीक आहे. Now if I run the program, it will not show anything. It will just simply keep going. If I say yes, it will simply come out. Otherwise, it will just display it blank, nothing. Because based on this choice, I have not asked this program to do anything. आता बघा हे गाणी वगैरे सुरू आहेत, बॅकग्राऊंडला तुम्हाला गाणी वगैरे ऐकायला मिळतील. बिकॉज इट्स ओके, कारण ट्रेन मध्ये असल्यामुळे मी असं कोणाला बाध्य करू शकत नाही. कांट आस्क पीपल टू नॉट टू प्ले दिस और नॉट टू डू दिस. ठीक आहे. And I know maybe perhaps people might be doing purposely. Maybe they are getting disturbed. But until now I was getting disturbed because it is expected that in train after 9 p.m. everything should be silent. पण तसं काही झालं नाही, मला काही वेळ मिळाला नाही, तर मी आता थोडं घेतो आणि नंतर स्टॉप करतो. ठीक आहे. आता बघा तुम्हाला बॅकग्राऊंड मध्ये म्युझिक पण वाचताना दिसत म्हणजे ऐकायला येत असेल. तर आता आपल्याला काय करायचं आहे, जस्ट फंक्शन्स इम्प्लिमेंट करायचे. हाऊ टू इम्प्लिमेंट फंक्शन्स इन पायथॉन? युझिंग समथिंग कॉल्ड डेफ. So I'll be having first function, that is disp underscore vada pav. Okay. So you know Python function expects self, and here I'll be having colon. So I'll just keep typing here, and I'll finish up within very short time. Don't worry. So here what I want here just a print statement. Two line. Vada pav. Okay. My first function is complete. This way I want one more function. Okay. So this is my second function, but this function is not vada pav, display samosa. Okay. Done. Class is complete. I'll just call these functions using this menu. If my choice equal to 1, so I'll be having this. So you know well that if I have a class, I have to create an object. So I will create an object under this. And how to create object under this? So I'll be having this class ka naam. And then this. So I will just check this video lecture if it is not getting properly recorded or some more background experience. I will put this. What left is like object. So what is that function? So this is the okay. Else if my choice is 2, then I'll be just doing this. हे आपल्याला करायचं आहे. आणि समजा जर का चॉईस 3 असेल तर काय, तर आपण देऊ शकतो परत एलिफ. ओके. आता मी इथून जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट करतो. आणि डोंट वरी, मी क्वालिटी ऑफ दी व्हिडिओ चेक करेल तरच मी अपलोड करेल, अदरवाइज आय विल नॉट अपलोड इट. ओके. कारण आता असं आहे ना की आपण काही लोकांना डिस्टर्ब करणं रात्रीचं बरोबर नाही. प्रिंट okay. Choice done. So you know that what blunder I'm making here. So I am just making one blunder that you have to provide your colon. Yes. आता हे झालंय. तर आपण या प्रोग्रामला इम्प्लिमेंट करू आणि डेमॉन्स्ट्रेशन झालं की मी स्टॉप करतो आणि तुम्हाला एवढंच इम्प्लिमेंट करायचं आहे. आय विल बी सेंडिंग यू कोड ॲज वेल ॲज दिस थिंग व्हिडिओ. ओके. चला तर आता बघूया आपण काय होतं. Just see the demonstration. Okay, so here is again a problem, so don't worry. Yeah, so here also it's expecting me to enter colon. Control S. आता Python आहे. Yes. If I say 1, you got vada pav. If I say 2, you got samosa. If I say 3, bye bye. So this way you have to implement the menu. ठीक आहे. डन. आता हे तुम्हाला इम्प्लिमेंट करायचं एवढंच आणि सर तुम्हाला मदत करतील. हू? आवर Harshal sir. Okay. So with this I stop and you have to continue with this, and it's almost at 25 minutes over. So I hope that you will implement at least this thing. Okay, perhaps you may listen some music in background, but okay, it's okay. You have to understand the concepts. You don't have to listen to music. Okay, so I'll stop recording now.